Another technique for strumming chords is to use a bass note between strumming the other notes of the chord. In the example below, first play only the bass note, then strum the remaining partial chord. This example is slightly varied from the bass notes exercise. First, the bass notes alternate from the 6th and 5th string. Also, notice when you strum the partial chord, you are not including all of the other chord notes. The last two exercises use partial chords. The exercise below is yet another of the many partial chord strumming patterns you'll find in popular music. The sounding of the tones of a chord in succession, rather than at the same time, is called an arpeggio. Simply put, this is picking out the individual notes of a chord rather than strumming them. You could play the notes with a pick, or with the fingers of your picking hand. The exercise below sounds notes on the 6th and 1st string at the same time. You could use a pick for the 6th string note and a finger for the 1st string, or you can use your fingers for the entire technique. A chord progression is a repetitive pattern of chord changes. It can be made up of any combination of chords. We've already learned the C to G chord progression. G to C can also be a chord progression. As early as our first 3-string exercises, we learned A minor and E minor. We mixed these with C and G and made a 4-chord progression: C, A minor, G, E minor. To learn more about guitar chords, common progressions, and playing in the different musical keys, we highly recommend Easy Guitar Chords DVD by MJS Music and Entertainment. This very affordable DVD will give you a world of insight for playing chords on the guitar. Now let's look at some of the other chords and learn some popular ways they are used in songs. We are going to learn 5 different songs at 3 different levels. Here, we'll be able to introduce new techniques and ideas for playing and writing songs. For this section, I'll be playing an Epiphone EF500RA fingerstyle acoustic guitar. The first song we are going to learn is a descending bass line song. This song follows the notes below, starting with D on the 4th string open, to the 5th string, 3rd fret C, 2nd fret B, and 5th string open A. In place of the individual notes, we will play chords that follow the descending pattern. So in place of the D note, we will start with a D chord. In place of the C note, we'll play the C add 9 chord that we learned in the previous section. In place of the B note, we will play a partial G chord. This is also called a G/B chord since the lowest note is B on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Notice that the 6th string is not used. Finally, the last chord is a D/A, which means we will play a D chord and add the 5th string open A note to it. Here it is with a tempo of 70 BPM. The country song uses chords we have already learned, starting with the G, to C, back to G, change to D. For level 1, we'll play alternating bass lines, giving the song a traditional country feel. Hold the G chord, play the 6th string 3rd fret G note for the 1 count, then strum the remaining chords on strings 5 through 1 for the 2 count. Alternate to the 5th string 2nd fret B note for count 3, then strum the remaining chord for count 4. In the second measure, we see a repeat symbol. This simply instructs us to repeat the previous measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to the C chord, picking the 5th string bass note, then strum strings 4 through 1. Alternate to the 4th string bass note, then strum. Repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch back to G for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then change to the D chord, picking the open 4th string bass note. Strum the chord on strings 3, 2, and 1. Then alternate to the open 5th string bass note, then strum. Repeat the D chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then repeat the whole song. Here's the country song, level 1, with a tempo of 70 BPM. The rock song introduces power chords. A basic power chord uses only 2 notes. To play an open E5 power chord, start with the 6th string open, along with the 5th string 2nd fret, and strum both strings. Power chords are movable chord shapes. From E5, you can move everything up 1 fret to play F5. Place your index finger on the 6th string 1st fret, along with your ring finger on the 5th string 3rd fret, and strum both strings. Move the shape up 1 more fret and you have an F♯5 power chord. Up 1 more fret and you have the G5 power chord. 6th string 3rd fret along with the 5th string 5th fret. You can also move these power chord shapes to different strings. The open A5 is just like the open E5, just played on the 5th and 4th strings. Move up 1 fret and you have B♯5. Move the open shape to the 4th and 3rd strings and you have a D5 power chord. Up 1 fret and you have an E♯5. The rock song starts out very simple, using only 3 power chords. Start with the open E5 for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next is G5 with the index finger on the 6th string 3rd fret and ring finger on the 5th string 5th fret for 1 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we move it up 2 frets for an A5, 6th string 5th fret, 5th string 7th fret for 1 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then repeat the whole song, dropping down to E5. Here's the rock song at 90 BPM. To enhance the rock song, we'll add pedal tones after each power chord. Play each chord for a half note for counts 1, 2. Next, play open 6-string pedal tones. The rhythm introduces eighth notes. Eighth notes require us to divide each beat into 2 pulses. So instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we count eighth notes as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the rock song, the pedal tones come in at the middle of the measure for counts 3 and 4 and. Repeat the E rhythm, playing the chords for counts 1 and 2, then pedal tones for 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Move up to the 3rd fret for the G5. 1, 2. Then open E pedal tones, 3 and 4 and. Up to the 5th fret position for the A5. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Then repeat the song. Here's a practice run with a tempo. The shuffle song expands upon our power chords, starting with an A5, the 5th string is open, and the 4th string 2nd fret is played with the index finger. Strum both strings, and while holding the 4th string 2nd fret with the index finger, play the 4th string 4th fret with the ring finger. Strum, and you have an A6 power chord. The 3rd chord chart shows both the A5 and A6, showing that the chord will alternate between fretted notes. By going back and forth between A5 and A6 power chords, we can play a traditional shuffle rhythm. To start, we are going to add a single pedal tone between each chord. Play A5, open A pedal tone, A6, pedal tone, back to A5, pedal, A6, pedal. Repeat this rhythm, then switch to the D5, D6 rhythm. It's the same fingerings, but move down to the 4th string open with the 3rd string 2nd fret for D5, open 4th string pedal tone, then 4th string 4th fret for D6, pedal tone. Play for 2 measures, then return to the A5 rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. After repeating the A rhythm, move everything up 1 string to the E rhythm. It's the same fingerings, but the bass note is on the open E string. Here's the shuffle song at a slow tempo of 90 BPM. The blues song will use the open E5 power chord, 6th string open, along with the 5th string 2nd fret. Move it all down 1 string for the open A5 power chord, 5th string open with the 4th string 2nd fret. Move it up 2 frets, and you have the B5 power chord, 5th string 2nd fret, and your ring finger on the 4th string 4th fret. For the blues rhythm, we see a bracket with a number 3 in the center. This bracket overshadows a quarter note and an 8th note and combines them into 1 full beat. The number 3 tells us that this beat is counted as a triplet. So instead of counting quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, or instead of counting 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we now divide each beat into 3 pulses. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. To play the blues rhythm, start with the 5th string open for counts 1 and, then 6th string 3rd fret for a. 1 and a. Again, 1 and a. To complete the rhythm, play an E5 power chord and let it ring out for the rest of the measure. 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. To start the blues song, the E rhythm is repeated 4 times. Next, we change to an A triplet rhythm. Just move everything down 1 string, 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. Repeat the A rhythm, 4th string open, to 5th string 3rd fret, to the A5 power chord. Then, back up 1 string to the E rhythm for 2 measures. 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. To end the blues song, we play a turnaround which gives the rhythm a different feel. Start with the 4th string 2nd fret, then open, then a B5 power chord. All with the triplet rhythm. 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. Switch to the A rhythm. 1 and a, 2, 3, 4. Then end on the E rhythm for 2 measures. Let's play the blues song at 60 BPM. For level 2 of our descending bass line song, we will apply a half quarter-quarter rhythm. Strum D on 1 and hold for 2, strum on 3, strum on 4. Switch to C at 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, G/B, 1, 2, 3, 4, to D/A, 1, 2, 4. Let's loop it at 80 BPM. Now let's take the same rhythm, but instead of strumming the full chord, we will arpeggiate some of the notes. Starting with D, strum on 1, hold for 2, pick the first string chord note for count 3, pick the second string chord note for count 4. Switch to the C add 9 and apply the same rhythm pattern. Strum for 1, hold for 2, pick the first string on 3, pick the second string on 4. To G/B, 1, 2, 3, 4, to D/A, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can choose to use a pick to play these notes, or you could finger pick the notes. Level 2 of the country song has a strumming eighth notes. Starting with the G chord, pick the 6th string 3rd fret bass note for beat 1, then strum the remaining chord with eighth notes for counts 2 and. Pick the 5th string 2nd fret bass note for the 3 count, then strum eighth notes for 4 and. Then repeat the G rhythm. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Switch to the C, applying the same bass notes as level 1, but for level 2, we'll strum eighth notes. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Back to the G rhythm for 2 measures. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and end on D. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Here it is at 75 BPM. For this next section, we are going to add the palm mute technique to the pedal tones. The palm mute is achieved by resting the edge of your picking hand against the strings that you are picking. This gives the notes a percussive or drum-like quality. You can adjust the amount of mute by moving your hand position. For a heavy rock sound, place your palm as close to the bridge as possible. Here it is with a tempo of 90 BPM. To pick up the pace, we are going to shorten the duration of the chord and add more palm muted pedal tones. Play each chord as a quarter note for the 1 count, then come in with pedal tones on 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Switch to G5, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and, then A5, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's play it with the tempo. Another popular technique for rock guitar is the harmonic. Harmonics are achieved by lightly touching the string directly above a designated fret. For the rock song, we are adding 5th fret harmonics. Just lightly touch the 5th string above the 5th fret and pick the string. After you play the harmonic, you could pull your hand away from the string. If you push down on the string, or if you touch the string anywhere else, the harmonic will be silenced. The most common harmonics can be found on the 5th fret, 7th fret, and 12th fret. You can also experiment and find more harmonics by moving your hand to different locations on the string. For the rock song, play the same chords up to the A5 power chord, play a single open 6-string pedal tone, then 5th fret harmonics on strings 5, 4, 3, 4. The rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, allowing the harmonics to ring out all together. Then repeat the whole song. Here it is at 90 BPM. For level 2 of the shuffle song, we are adding another chord type. We have the A5, 5th string open with the 4th string 2nd fret, the A6 by adding the ring finger to the 4th string 4th fret. Now add the pinky to the 4th string 5th fret and you have an A7 variation. Then back to the A6. This is played with 8th notes by adding open 5th string pedal tones after each chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We are also adding the palm mute to this rhythm. Just lay the edge of your picking hand lightly on top of the strings you are playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Move everything down one string and you have the D rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Repeat the D rhythm, then move back up to the A rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Repeat a measure, then move everything up one string to the E rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Repeat the E rhythm, then repeat the whole song starting with A. Here it is at a tempo. For level 2 of the blues song, the triplet rhythm remains the same, but instead of letting each power chord ring out, we will strum the chord on counts 2, 3, and 4. For example, the E rhythm would be 1 and a 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2, 3, 4. Although it isn't written in the sheet music, you can also accent each chord by muting the strings after you strum it. 1 and a 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2, 3, 4. Here it is with the tempo. For level 3 of the descending bass line song, we will arpeggiate each chord using quarter notes. Start on the lowest note of the chord and pick out the rest of the chord. For D, pick strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. For the remaining chords, pick strings 5, 4, 3, and 2. Keep a steady quarter note rhythm, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is at 90 BPM. This final rhythm has us combining eighth notes and quarter notes. An eighth note divides a beat into two pulses, so instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we now count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Start out holding the D chord and pick strings 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, then 3. The rhythm is 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Switch to C, add 9, picking strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, then 4, and apply the same rhythm, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Next is G/B, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. For the ending, play D/A, picking strings 5, 4, 3, and 2. The last note is a half note, so the rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4. Here it is looped at 90 BPM. Start by holding a G chord for level 3 of the country song. Pick the 6th string 3rd fret G note for the 1 count, then strum strings 4 through 1 with 8th notes for counts 2 and. On the 3 count, lift your index finger exposing the open 5th string, pick the string, then hammer your index finger back down to the 2nd fret. This is called the hammer-on technique. If you hammer your finger hard enough, you will produce the 2nd fret note without having to pick the string. Hammer-ons can be applied to open strings, or you can fret a note and hammer higher notes on the same string. So for our country song, we play the bass note, strum 8th notes, 5th string open hammer to the 2nd fret, for 8th notes, then strum the chord one more time for the 4 count. Altogether, the count is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Switch to the C chord, playing the 5th string 3rd fret bass note, then strum strings 3, 2, and 1 for 8th notes. Lift your middle finger and play the 4th string open, then hammer your middle finger back to the 4th string's 2nd fret. Then end with a strum. The count is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Back to the G rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Then switch to D. Open 4th string bass note. Strum on counts 2 and. Open 5th string bass note. Then strum on counts 4 and. The 2nd measure of the D rhythm introduces a turnaround that walks us back up to the G chord. Start on the 4th string open, which is a D note, then switch to the 6th string open, 1st finger, 1st fret F note, 2nd finger, 2nd fret F sharp. All 4 notes are played with a quarter note rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we repeat the song starting with the G chord. So the turnaround gives us a smooth change from the D rhythm to the G rhythm. Here's level 3 with the tempo. Let's play the country song at 80 BPM. To enhance the E5 power chord, we are now adding the 4th string 2nd fret. This is an octave E, which gives the power chord a fuller tone. I'm playing the 5th and 4th string 2nd fret with one finger by barring it across both strings. You can also play this chord with your index finger on the 5th string and middle finger on the 4th string. If you move the chord shape down one string, you have an open A5 power chord. 5th string open, 4th string 2nd fret, and the 3rd string 2nd fret. When you move to the open 4th string D5, the shape is a little different. The octave D is held 1 fret higher on the 2nd string 3rd fret. So play the 4th string open, 3rd string 2nd fret with the index, and 2nd string 3rd fret with the middle. If you move this shape up the fretboard, like the E flat 5 for example, use your index finger on the 4th string 1st fret, play the 3rd string 3rd fret with the ring finger, and 2nd string 4th fret with the pinky. For level 3 of the rock song, we start with an extended E5 power chord on the 1 count. Then we are playing a traditional rock guitar riff, starting with the 6th string open, to the 6th string 3rd fret with the middle finger, switch to the 5th string open, 2nd fret with the index finger, open again, then back to the 6th string 3rd fret. The count is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. For the second measure, play the E5, then the 6th string open, 3, to the 5th string, open, 2, open. The count is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Move up to the G5, playing the extended power chord by adding the pinky to the 4th string, 5th fret. The rock riff is 6th string open, 3rd, to 5th string, open, 3, open. Move up to the extended A5 power chord, 6th string, 5th fret, 5th string 7th fret, and 4th string 7th fret. The rock riff is 6th string open, 5, to 5th string, open, 5, open. Altogether, we'll play it at 90 BPM. To accent the rock song, we are adding a rest to the 2nd count. A rest is simply a period of silence. Here we are playing each power chord with 8th notes for counts 1 and, then mute the strings to produce a rest for the 2nd count. You can do this by laying your hand across the strings, or you can lay the edge of your picking hand across the strings to prevent any notes from ringing out. The rock riff is also a little different for this section. In the first measure, play the 5th string open, 2, open, to 6th string 3rd fret. In the second measure, play only the 5th string notes, open, 2, open. Move up to G5, 1 and rest, open, 3, open, up to A5, 1 and rest, open, 5, open. All right, let's play it with our tempo. The next rhythm has us playing a lot more between each chord. If you look at the first note chart, we see that the A shuffle rhythm involves the 5th string open, 3rd fret, 4th fret, to the 4th string 2nd, 4th, and 5th fret. In the sheet music, we see that we are starting with an A5 power chord. Next, play pedal tones on the 5th string open, 3rd fret with the middle finger, then 4th fret with the ring finger. Play the A5 again, then pedal tones on the 5th string open, to the 4th string 4th fret with the ring finger, then 5th fret with the pinky. Repeat the A shuffle rhythm. Then move the entire structure down 1 string and play a D shuffle rhythm. D5, 4th string open, 3, 4, D5, 4th string open, to the 3rd string 4, then 5. Repeat. Then back to the A shuffle rhythm. Repeat A, then move everything up 1 string for the E shuffle rhythm. E5, open, 3, 4, E5, open, 5th string 4, then 5. Repeat the E shuffle rhythm. Then repeat the full song. Let's play it with the tempo at 90 BPM. To complete the shuffle song, we are going to add hammer-ons to the fretted notes. For example, the A shuffle rhythm starts with an A5, 5th string open, 3, hammer to 4, A5, 5th string open, 4th string 4, hammer to 5. Repeat the rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, then move the entire structure down 1 string for the D shuffle rhythm. The frets and fingers stay the same. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Back to the A rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then up 1 string to the E shuffle rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then repeat the whole song. Here's the completed shuffle song at 90 BPM. Level 3 of the blues song uses a straight triplet rhythm. Start out with the same walk down from the 5th string open to the 6th string 3rd fret for counts 1 and then play the E5 power chord. But instead of strumming for quarter notes, we are now going to use the triplet rhythm by holding the chord for to and end on the open E pedal tone for Repeat for 3 and repeat for 4 and Then repeat the whole measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Apply this triplet rhythm to the whole blues song. Here's the final version with the tempo. I've had a lot of fun working with you today, and we've covered a lot of ground. Individual notes, harmony, chords. If you've made it this far, you're on your way to becoming a great guitarist. I'd like to encourage you to take your playing to the next level.